2006 regular meeting of Molalla City Council. As always, would you please stand and join me in the flag salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let's do a roll call for Councilor Needham.
Councilor Needham, present.
Councilor Thompson here.
Councilor Clark, present.
Councilor Bottle here.
Councilor Roddy, present.
Mayor Clark, present for the last time. Introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Mark Gervasi. I'm the interim city manager here. I've been here about 2.5 weeks. Look forward to working with this group and moving things forward for the city. Yeah.
Please present.
And present.
Katie Kramer, city recorder, present.
Heather Penny, finance director, present.
Melissa Georgeson, community services director, present.
Good. We're on a roll. Okay. Moving on, Council, you have just a chance. The MAC minutes were there. They're for information only. Are there any questions? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on. Under communications, I would like to make just a couple of quick announcements in communications so I don't forget. Yesterday, you know, the tragic shooting at the town center. Our police department, I want to give them kudos for stepping up, because anybody within a radius of the town center, all police departments were there, and our police chief called in everybody and put them on alert to be ready, and they helped support the county in this end and everything around this area. And so, yeah, they went out of their jurisdiction, but they were out helping the county on any calls that were needed in this area and support, because everybody else was at the town center. So I want to give kudos to our police department for stepping up with that. And I would like to also give kudos that our annual Christmas tree ceremony was maybe a not go for a little bit, and I want to, and I'm going to miss some people, but I know the ones that were really there, Pepco, and I see you there. Thank you so much. Cabinet Dance stepped up. Main Street Committee was giving hot chocolate. Foothills Church again with their band and their PA systems. Grant Sharp and everybody who put up the tree, and whoever I missed, I'm sorry, but you made a great evening for us. And the annual Christmas tree, I had people coming out of the woodwork saying it will happen, and they were going to do it with or without us, so I'm glad that we could work together and get it done. So I want to thank everybody that was involved with that, and the ones I missed, I apologize, because there was a lot of people that came together for that, so I would like to thank them. But moving on now, this is the time where people can fill out the form. And first one is Jennifer Hood from Team is going to give us an update. Is that right, Jennifer?
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to bring everybody up to speed. I do an awful lot of work out of that office, and I thought it would probably make sense, since there's a lot of misinformation about what Team does, to come in and let you know what we're doing. Obviously, this is just going to be a fraction of what we're doing, but it's sort of the highlights, I think. I've been talking to Sarepta Science. It's a corporation that discovered a cure for MS, and they're looking for space. Don't know whether we'll get it or not, but at least I'm talking to them. I also contracted Truitt Brothers. They're a canner that is in Salem, and they're outgrowing their space there. I talked with Williams Manufacturing. It's a man that I know who invented something. He's now with a patent person, and when he gets his thing patented, he will be manufacturing it here. I contacted Grocery Outlet about moving into the True Value location. They're still mulling it over. I'm also looking at a lot of other discount grocers. I worked with Connie and the promotions committee on getting our new banners up. There's a lot of people to thank there, the Kiwanis, the Rotary Club, the Foothills Church. I mean, all kinds of people stepped up to get those new banners in much the same way that they stepped up to get the holiday event happen. I did an employee count and also surveyed local businesses on whether or not they are exporting. I conducted a multi-vision integration workshop with the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm working with the school district on involving students in the projects that we have going for Main Street and Molalla in general. And also I met with Jackie Williams of the Oregon Cities Farmer Market to see what was going to happen. And a lot of stuff is going on right now. I have a developer interested in redeveloping portions of downtown. I'm working with him very closely to make sure that we comply with everything with ODOT and everything else. And had the guy who redeveloped the train Union Station in downtown Portland. He was out here and he was looking at property today to see what we can do to redevelop our downtown and from the restoration perspective. I've got Jill Miles, the state's business recruiter, going to come and meet all of you real soon. I received a county tourism grant and a state arts grant to do a Rodeo Walk of Fame planning charrette and sample project. So sometime this next year, in time for the centennial, we will have the beginnings of our Rodeo Walk of Fame. It will happen. There's so much more I could tell you, but I just wanted to thank everybody, and I look forward to continuing to build on all this progress. Thanks a lot.
Terry, I'm going to kind of let you decide if you want to talk in the beginning of that section of the meeting. Is that right? Okay. Under awards and recognitions, I have one here that is not on the agenda, and it's, I have to be sneaky and cruel sometimes to get the right people here, but I'm going to go to the main microphone. Each year, as a mayor, I get to nominate someone from the fitness and leadership, and some of them are here, have been here, that have received it before, and I always go to MYS or someone in the youth organization and say, you know, who's stepped out this year? And this name came up over and over, as always, and Kevin and Carrie, you have to come over here. Really had to tell this guy they're coming to see my last meeting. And I don't even like the guy. But those of you who don't know Kevin, he's a Get over here. Get out here. I don't trust you behind me. But Kevin, everybody knows I promote the sports here as a grandparent, as a, my son coaches, and I look around and I've coached and helped with a lot of the people in here. And Kevin, I go over and this guy here he's lining soccer fields. He is putting stuff up on his own time. Those soccer fields would not have what they have over there without this guy. And over and over they just said, Kevin does this. He coaches. His kids are involved in stuff. His wife, she follows him, I don't know why. But in my own, I want to thank Kevin for what he does for the Molalla youth. And in a small, tiny token, this is a thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and it is really, it means a lot. The people stepped up, not me. I mean, I knew what you did, but everybody else stepped forward too. So thank you. Thank you guys for sneaking in here. You have a wonderful family that's very sneaky. Thank you.
Kevin, yeah,
That's for our friends, Kevin, remember that. I'll be looking for your Christmas card. It is something that I was telling Debbie as she takes over, is that when you see that we have a lot of people in town, and sometimes we don't get recognized all, if we can do it one person at a time, it's a simple way of saying thank you for that. And being the last meeting for a couple of us, Councilor Needham, the city would like to present to you an award of appreciation for your years of service as city councilor. We going out with a smile and a hard work that you presented to the city, and so I'd like to present you with the award of appreciation for your years. Moving on.
Mayor, we have a plaque here for you. Your dedication, 12 years of tireless leadership, dedication, and loyalty to the city of Molalla. And we'd like to thank you for that and present you this plaque.
Thank you. Again, we'll try to save it beautiful. I've been in council for mayor, even interim city manager, for nearly 20 years here, and so I do appreciate what the city has given to me. I think sometimes I've given a little bit back, but what I've gotten from the city is to see growth and to see wonderful people. And the biggest thing I've gotten as a mayor is friendships I've made from council members, the staff, and the new guys. We become friends besides colleagues. And that as a teacher here in town and as a mayor and council, like I said, it's meant a lot to me. And watching my grandkids grow up here, and having them go to school here, so I am part of the community. It's been a great time for me, so I appreciate all the support that I've been given over the years, and what you stepped up, and like I said, above all, it's the friendships I've made and the people around me that have helped us be a successful 20 years for me, so thank you very much. And my wife.
I think you should let your wife come up and say a
I just got back from 8 days, so she's been on an 8-day vacation without me, so she's really happy. I just came back, those of you who don't know, I just came back from 8 days in Vietnam. I went back and visited Vietnam after 44 years of being in the Army over there. And so I went back with my brother, and we had a great 8 days of, it's changed, and I didn't have to carry a weapon, so it was really good. And nobody was shooting at us. And it was a wonderful trip. It was outstanding, and so I do want to say that. I'm just catching up on my sleep, that's all. Okay, we're moving on. We do have one item under new business we talked about in the work session. And in that piece, because we do not have a permanent city manager, and usually city manager and another staff member can sign checks along with a council member. Well, that one staff member is out of town until the end of the month, and so if we need to pay our bills and to pay staff their salaries at the end of the year, we would need to, with our auditor's approval, they've approved this, that to let 2 council members, or the mayor and a council member, sign checks through January 2nd to, and it would just be an authorization for the next, like I said, so January 2nd, and our auditors have approved that.
So a motion to approve authorization of one councilperson and the mayor and/or two council members to sign checks in the interim between now and January
Second.
2nd, 2013.
I second it.
The motion is second to allow council member or mayor to sign checks until January 2nd, 2013. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None, so be it. Thank you. Moving along, under resolutions, the annexation, this was just a resolution we would do from the vote, but there is some wording that needs to be corrected. So we're going to pull that item until January meeting. Is that correct, Sadie?
Yeah.
Make either one of you that.
That's correct.
Easier, okay?
Yeah, and we'll get that squared away, and we'll have it on the January 9th meeting, Mayor.
The next resolution, 2012-42, this is a resolution repealing another resolution, 2005-11, and this is being the financial crisis. There was some discussion about money collected and going to the chamber. We're going to end up tabling this, but we do have a few of you here that wanted to talk about it, and rather than bring you here for nothing, unless you want to wait until the January meeting. But the discussion is that trying to save some money in both ways. So I'm going to leave it up to council. It has been suggested through March that we table this to get a better information out to the public.
I was hoping that Terry would go ahead and present because she has information the new counselors and this current council does not have. And I would like to start the process with as much information on the table as we go forward over this next 2 weeks. So anything you can add, I think, would be helpful for education purposes.
Okay, all right, so.
Come on.
Come on up.
Yeah.
You have to give your name, your address, phone number, height, weight.
I'm this high. And I've been around a long time. So I say Terry Schenkel. What else do I have?
Need an address.
My address is 840 Explorer Avenue in Molalla, Oregon. Never done this before, so I have no idea what I'm doing.
You're good to go.
Okay. So I'm not, Deb and I talked the other day. This has to do with the resolution that was originally, and most of you probably don't know this either, but many years ago, back in 2005, the Gene Green came and he proposed that instead of giving money out of the city budget, that we do a business license, and the business license was originally $50, and they asked to increase it to $70 with the $20 that would be designated for the chamber, which has been running between $7,000 and $8,000 approximately a year that we are receiving. And I've done a little bit of, I haven't done a whole lot of research because I'm short on time, but at this point in the last 2 years, that percentage of income that we receive is about between 8 to 14% of our generated funds, depending on how we do on some of our fundraising. Our chamber is about, right now, it's been growing in the last 2 years. I mean, we really are doing some changes. I think things are getting much better. We're reaching out to the business community more. I think, things are growing. We're up to over 200 members, whereas before we were behind. We don't want to really increase our business or our membership fees because I've done some research on that, and in some cases we're on the high side, in some cases we're on the low side. So I think with this economy and the way Molalla is right now, we're better to stay where we are, and that of course is our major source of income. Some of the things that the chamber does, and it's kind of I've been in there off and on doing payroll mostly. So for the few minutes I'm in there, I'm always amazed at the type of phone calls we get. And these are things that if we weren't getting them, I have a sneaking suspicion you would be getting them, the city. And they're things like, how do I get a hold of Adams Cemetery? How do I find this particular business? Where's a giving tree? That one I really liked. That was back in November. We didn't have them up yet. They want maps of the town. They want directions. They want maps of the Molalla corridor. They want to know what's going on in town. I love this one. Who to call at the city for various questions? That was a business owner. I would have thought he would have called the city to ask them. But anyway, We get, what kind of charities do we have in this community? Who can I give to? We've had things like, what is there to do in Molalla? Of course, there's always the questions about all the events that go on. You know, what time is it? Where is it? Who to contact? How do I get the tickets, you know? And then, of course, there's a big thing that we do, which is the parade, which helps promote our city, bring in, you know, thousands of people that come and watch it. And with your help, thank goodness, with the police, we have a really good thing going there. And that's getting better and better now with the fun run that's been added from the church. Besides the, you know, we send out information to new businesses, we send out information to home buyers that are purchasing in the area. I know an item was brought up that some of these business fees that are paid are by builders who are coming into the community for only a short period of time. So you guys are doing a lot of work on your side with the fees, that you know, whatever you have to do with your paperwork. The chamber's not really doing anything while this builder builds his house. That's true, at that point we're not. But where we're stepping in is when the people are going to buy the house. So then they're going to call the chamber. They want to know what kind of schools are out here, what kind of churches are out here, what stores are out here, you know, what are all the resources? And we get a lot of those, which kind of surprises me. You know, and that isn't even counting all the tourism stuff that comes in. So we are working very hard on making ourselves more sustainable. We have a new website that we're hoping to get going, and we're going to try and have the community calendar on that so that everything can be in one place, which is what we really need in this community. We're, you know, doing a few other types of things in-house to try and get things going. And right now the board is doing all the work with we don't have an executive director yet. That is our goal, but I don't see that happening for another year or two because we need to get some other things in-house taken care of before we can go further. So basically what I'm saying is we really need that money. I know you guys do too, but if I'm reading this right, it's not money you ever really had because it was an additional $20 that was added on. So yes, you got it in passing, but you passed it right on to us. So it wasn't ever money that you could work with, if I'm reading that resolution correctly. So, is that enough?
No, you did great. Thank you. I appreciate it. I think we have some questions and discuss
Okay.
why you're here because it's in context and it makes sense.
Okay.
You mentioned membership fees, and I was just curious, so in addition to business license, the percentage of that fee, you charge the business owners directly a membership fee as well?
Correct. If a business wants to join our chamber, they pay a membership fee. And with that, they get benefits and stuff.
And it's tiered by number of employees.
It's tiered by the number of employees. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And whether they're a nonprofit group or church or something.
Councilor Needham?
Yes, Terry, how would the chamber compensate for the loss of revenue because of this proposed action?
One of the things that we are doing, you know, we do our directory, which is sent out to, I don't know how many did we do? Was it 4,000? 3,000 to 4,000 homes that goes out to. So that has all the information about the schools, churches, etc. Plus all the chamber people buy ads, and non-chamber people can buy ads. What has been done in the past is we have split that 50-50 with the Pioneer because they did a lot of the work. We are planning on, we're looking into taking that into, you know, doing it more in-house and keeping more of the profits from that because it can generate quite a bit. And in fact, it can generate a lot more than what we've done. The website that we're looking at is called Chamber Masters, and it's designed specifically for chambers of commerce. And Silverton has it. There's a couple of others that I know of that have it. And on it, it has the opportunity for businesses to have their little ads on it. And it's a really nice site because right now ours kind of sucks. So, let's be truthful. So that's an area where we want to help generate money because we'll have to pay a monthly fee to have this. But we feel that we can get enough in advertising to help pay for itself and then some. So those are two that I know of that we're working on. And we have the nonprofit organization is doing some coaching with us right now that we did with the Ford Foundation. And we are looking at kind of restructuring how the board is working and getting a little bit more training, because, most of us came on with knowing nothing. And it's like, oh, we're supposed to make all these decisions and do this stuff. And so we're learning how to really run the chamber and figure out ways to do what we're supposed to do. We're also working on a grant to help with getting the website. So, that answer?
You won't have to have any staff reductions or anything like that?
No. Right now, we have a full-time, she's not really full-time, she works 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, and Carrie is our main administrator. And then we have a part-time person that has been helping with making phone calls and doing various things. She did the banquet and got a lot of the donations. She's doing member relations, making phone calls to new members and welcoming them, and making phone calls to non-members and, trying to get them to join and stuff. So she only works a couple of days. I think it's 12 hours a week.
And the other two things that we had discussed, so everybody has equal information, is that the building rent, they've managed to save $200 a month by moving to the place that they are. They were paying $1,000, and with this new space, they have more space for $800. And the other thing we discussed, was the possibility of renting one of those rooms out to businesses for meetings as a way of kind of getting a deferment on the rent.
Right.
It's not guaranteed, but it's a possibility for trying to get the chamber sustainable. And Terry and I discussed we don't want any sudden changes with this. We want to get the city out of that business, let them become sustainable, but not hurt them in this year process. So how can we compromise? And those are the kind of questions I think over the next couple of weeks we want to talk to people about and ask.
Right, and we were talking about the compromise of half and half.
Correct.
Right, and I think that would be, acceptable for us. I mean, we don't really have a choice, but, I think we'd be happier with that than with not getting any of it, especially for this year.
And we may still be able to brainstorm and come up with something even
With
better.
something else, yeah.
This gives us a little time.
I did some research on our rent, and we have been paying $800. In the past, we were paying 2009, and all prior to that, we were paying $1,100. And 2010, there was a little bit of, some was $800, and then it was going up to $1,150. So by moving out there, we got a little bigger space. We got definitely better parking. I'm not sure if people say it's hard to find, but I thought the other place was extremely hard to find too. So, that's neither here nor there. And then again, the facility is going to have a very nice sized room in it to hold meetings and stuff that where businesses can start using that besides just this place and a telephone company and whatnot.
Okay.
We're getting better.
Again, yes.
Just so staff and council are fully educated and making sure that, we're doing our due diligence through information. Is the chamber a independent 501c3, similar to the Communities that Care and the Dibble House?
We're not.
We are,
I don't think we're not considered nonprofit.
we're nonprofit, but we're not the C4.
Yeah, we're not.
C4? Yeah.
I think that's another question that could probably be looked into and resolved for discussion, and I think that's a good question. But again, we talked about before, is that even during the work sessions, that there are a lot of questions that I think we can get answered through staff and through council, and questions that, and so it'd be recommended that we table this resolution until more information is out. Is that okay with council?
I'd like to ask one question of our interim city manager, and that is in regard to whether or not these funds that have been benefiting the businesses of Molalla through the permitting fees are going to be reduced because of not taking those fees. Is that part of the proposal, or is this supposed to generate additional revenue for the city?
The resolution, those dollars that if they were not remitted to the chamber, that extra 20, I think it's the staff's thought that those dollars would be used for a general fund purpose, is my understanding. But it's pretty clear, I think we made it clear here, that those are dollars that you, it's neutral. I mean, if we we'd have to remit it back. I would assume we'd have to remit those dollars back if we didn't provide this effort, these dollars to the chamber. We'd have to remit that back to all the payers. I don't know if I answered your question.
If you refund it, you would have to pay it back to the people who have already been billed?
No, that is not correct. Our business license fee is $70, and we have a fee schedule that has been adopted by this council, and that is the fee that is taken. It is $70. We then have a separate second ordinance that says $20 of the $70 that we collect will then go to the chamber. And it was set up in 2005 because there was a partnership and a director in play that was actively partnering with the city on many projects. So we took our standard $70 fee that has been adopted and elected to give 20 of it to the council or to the chamber. If we repeal that ordinance, our fee is still $70.
So the $20 that has previously been benefiting the businesses of the community through the Chamber of Commerce will no longer be benefiting the businesses of the community.
That is the question. What is the return on investment of those dollars? How are they being spent? We have no accounting of how they are being spent and how are they benefiting the actual community. That's a question that needs to be asked and discussed at a future meeting.
Well, even more important, I think, is the separation is what we're trying to get to, where they're doing their own sustainable function. It separates it from the city. But how can we do it without shooting anybody in the foot with a sudden move?
I think that's the reason for tabling this, is that gives everybody more of a chance and to sit down and answer these questions with a, how can this be worked out, and what is a compromise if we have to go to, and everybody's in a bind with money. But I think in the short notice of this, it gives everybody more of we got another month now to look into this and see what would be best. You got a question, Steve?
No, I'm just going to make a motion.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
When you're saying what kind of a partnership, what was it that the chamber was doing for or on behalf or with the city? Do you know?
I wasn't here at the time, but what the minutes and the things I'm seeing is there was a director by the name of Sherry
Yeah.
who actively came in and worked with the city. There were a couple of grants that were written that were partnered to benefit both the chamber and the city of Molalla. And she helped facilitate a lot of events that were coordinated between the city of Molalla and the chamber to put on together. And she also did the TAP funding.
Okay. And so the TAP funding is the only thing we're not doing this year, but we've done in the past.
I think that might be something that
Yeah.
maybe Terry with your group is again, you've given us a good list of things that you're working on, and maybe you have that as a proposal again, but maybe written out to the council. And again, maybe staff could have their questions of, how they feel that this money could be benefited in other directions also. But I think with kind of being able to compare some apples and apples here, and give everybody a chance that maybe even Terry can come in and visit a little bit with Heather and whatever might help. So we have all of this
Okay.
answered. Okay?
Yeah, great. I think that would be wonderful.
Steve, you got a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we table this item to the January 9th meeting.
Motion second to table resolution 2012-42. Second, David?
You might get elected to do that.
Good. Okay. Moving on, now that we've got everybody. Kevin, see ya. You don't have to leave so early.
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, we're down to some reports here, and you would let staff, unless anything you want to say besides your swim meet?
We hosted our first swim meet tonight from Molalla High School Boys and Girls, and we hosted Blanchett. It's a Catholic school out of Salem, Riverdale, and Gladstone. Molalla placed 4 out of 4, but the kids had fun, and it was a great start to our season, so I'm all excited about that. The pool is good, the adult center is good. On the adult center front, we are seeing an increase in some donations and volunteers coming back to help us out. Lola Burge has been here helping, and a couple new volunteers this week. So lunch is tomorrow and Friday at noon. If you guys want to come eat with the seniors, you're invited.
What's on the menu?
I have no idea. I don't make food.
It's always surprising.
Sorry.
Broccoli, yeah.
That's all.
Heather?
I wanted to notify council that the EID billing for 2013 is being prepared. The records right now are currently being reviewed by Clackamas County. The data for the billing that we have been using is outdated, and there are many changes, so that county has asked that we update our records. I may need to come to the council in January and ask for the EID billing to be extended to February 1st rather than January 1st, with the 10% discount eligibility in February instead of January if they pay in full. County has staff on vacation and is having difficulty meeting our deadlines.
Katie?
Nothing, sir, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mark, the new guy.
Mayor, council, I've got, I give you my memo, okay, and some things that I'm working on right now. I'd like to say that in the two and a half weeks I've been here, I've been very impressed with the city staff. They do a good job. Some of the things that I am working on, like the mayor mentioned, PG franchise agreement, we need to get that squared away. That will be a 10-year, if it's approved, when it's approved, it'll be a 10-year agreement, franchise agreement with Portland General Electric. Also, I'm working with our city attorney on a draft of our ordinance regarding annexation. And also, we need to be about the business of trying to work out something here in the next little while. I kept hearing from several sources about the adult center, and we need to bring some resolution to that and how we move forward. So we're going to have a discussion about that. And then I'm just working on a number of other things, but right now I'm trying to take the low-hanging fruit of the PG franchise and annexation agreement and just day-to-day activity and getting to know the city better. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Councilman Needham, last hurrah.
Yep, that it is. I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize Kevin Carey and demonstrate my appreciation for his efforts in the Molalla youth sports. I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, the council members and staff and the citizens of Molalla. I'd like to welcome our councilors-elect. I see all the councilors-elect are present here tonight, and I wish you all the best and success in all of your efforts, and thank you for your dedication to become engaged in the leadership of the community. I'd like to welcome Mr. Gervasi to his first meeting, which is my last meeting. And I would like to, while I have the floor here, take this opportunity to express my surprise and gratitude for the recognition of my services for the past 6 years. I would especially like to thank the community of Molalla for the privilege and the pleasure of being able to represent them to the best of my ability, providing open, transparent, and accountable city government. And I hope and pray that that will continue in the future with our new council efforts. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
I had I did a little bit of research. A citizen mentioned to me about the city of Kaiser and their adult center and how impressed they were with the facility. So I did a little bit of research on how exactly it was that they were running it. And they actually have a 501c3 that is self-sustaining, that is running the operation. So it might not be a bad idea for the Molalla area seniors and perhaps our staff to reach out to them and see if perhaps they can help us explore that avenue. Self-sustaining, so yeah.
Councilor, do you have a name? Or I can call the city of Kaiser.
It's not through the city. I'll send you an email.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Link
I
to the
appreciate that.
website.
Yeah, okay, good. Thank you.
That I have. Other than that, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Hope you guys have a great New Year, and we'll see you next year.
I just want to wish everybody, I just wish everybody has a great Christmas.
Mr. Todd, Mr. Quiet One. Nothing to say.
No, I have plenty of stuff.
That's what I'm worried about.
And I'll keep it short. First of all, my understanding that Cindy's Cafe had a fire. I was getting to really enjoy the place, and I hope they reopen again. And we'll see nobody was hurt. Also, kudos to Molalla Fire Department for their canned food drive. I stood out in the rain because I heard them coming all the way down by the high school. In probably the same attire I have on now, t-shirts, jeans, and shoes, and it was raining. And to see these three young gals out there, just hooping and hollering and doing their little dance, or whatever it may have been, with a smile on their face, while, some of the guys had their raincoats sitting in the truck, the whole 9 yards. All their enthusiasm, and I understand that following it right up to probably about 2 days ago, that they almost filled that trailer up with food for people that need. I think that deserves an applaud. Also, there is some really good people in this world, and then again, there's some really evil people. And I'm not going to say evil in such a way. I'm going to say there's people that are in dire need of help. Your neighbor, or whatever it may be. Things happen in a snap, and then lives are lost. So during this end part of this year, I'm hoping that everybody would have a safe holiday. We still have our forces overseas, over countries, doing what they do to allow us to do what we do. So, God bless you, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Ditto on all that, and I would like to thank Mayor Clark for his service for the city. As a business person and as a resident, I've been here for 7 years, and I have seen his work with the middle school, with the Armed Forces program that he's put on there. I've participated in several of those. I just know that he's a genuine, caring person that has loved this community very deeply and has given the best that he has to this community, and I appreciate that effort. And I just would like to wish him the best in his future endeavors, and I can only hope to replace him on maybe a half of what he's done for this community. So thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Susie, for all the side stuff and support that you've had to do alongside with him. I'm sure a lot of times you don't get your praises sung, and it's a hard run. I understand that. Thank you so much.
She's going to hate me, but we're going this way. Mrs. Clark.
She gets recognition.
I have no flowers. I have nothing but my love. Without crying, I had a long speech here, but you said it, I go home and pissed, and you said I could say that, didn't you? After some meetings, there's a letter to the editor, there's a blog, there's a Facebook that tells me how crappy I am, and I'm doing a crappy job and this and that. But this lady listened to every bit of it. You guys are lucky she couldn't know your address, because you didn't have the gonads to come up to me face to face and tell me that, but you had to go through Facebook and someplace else, and this lady called me at times. But again, I appreciate all she's done for these 20 years I've put in the almost 20 years in council. So once you see the face that you guys are writing the letters to and pissing me off and really irritating her. And she's a human like I am, and so when you get to your blog and your Facebook, we are a human being kind of out there, And, think about it the next time you can't call me up and ask me what's going on, because this is my last hurrah. But when you do it to Deb or anybody else, think about who that person really is and what happened out there. So thank you, honey, for everything.
Still a class after dinner.
And she reminded me to go out in style. But I do want to say that I wanted to keep it short, but I did write some notes that, again, Merry Christmas, everyone. Cindy's, I just am devastated with that. I was over there this morning and talked to Cindy and Dennis Kylo, and they're going to get that place up and going again. It is gutted. It's an ugly mess. I've been able to work with a wonderful staff. Many of them have come and gone. Melanie Maben, Sadie in the Days, Mary Gorbert, Peggy Johnson, Shane Potter, all of them have stepped up, and every day the staff just amazed me in the, like I said, almost 20 years that I was here, how they came together and worked hard to make this a better, and it really did make my job as a mayor easier, all the people I've been able to work with, and so I do appreciate that. I got to use my good old boys label. And a lot of times, the good old boys, in the time I've been on here, I've seen this town go from 3,000 to over 8,000. We've got Big Meadows and a lot of other developments going on. Every time when I first came on, we had people saying, when are we going to get a McDonald's? When are we going to get McDonald's? Well, we got a McDonald's. We got our Safeway. We had, this place was full when we talked about moving out there. But it happened. Our water systems, we had some floods and stuff, but those have all been improved, and they are first class in the state. Our aquatic center, we hear some negative, but I'm going on positives tonight that we have a great aquatic center. We've got a great leader there, and it is doing wonderful things. Culver Road, Leroy, they used to be county roads. We worked out a deal with the county. They're paved, they're clean, and we've taken them over. A number of things have happened like that with the county. We've had a good working relationship there. I've seen those things happen. Our parks are some of the nicest around. At Clark Park, the bathrooms and the concession stand, they were added over there during this time. Ira Davies Park was developed. I got to see that happen. Sheets Park has been improved. The BMX track, these are things that have just come through. Those of you that don't remember the good old days of the library was that little meeting room, and it was about this big. That used to be the library. And we worked with the county, the state, the federal government, and we got, good and bad. We had an earthquake and lost the old high school, but we got a library out for the city that's one of the finest, and great staff over there. We got an industrial park. The skateboard park, this little concrete slab out here that, the darn skateboarders. Those kids came to me probably my first term as mayor, and I was a teacher in the middle school, and they came and said, Mr. Clark, we need a skate park. They kicked us out of everything. And I thought, well, one, I didn't like skateboarding, I'll admit that. But two, I said, okay, and I gave them projects, give me a plan. How much is it going to cost? These guys went out and did a car wash and came back with $200, says, we're ready to build. And I made them come to city. I did everything to put these kids off, I'll admit it. But they kept coming to me in class, and I said, you got to come to city council now. And finally, Gene Green went out and he found a grant, and they were over there and they did stuff. And so I guess it's as crazy as it seems, it's one of the neatest projects that I got to work with, because kids came to me and asked about it. And I tell the kids when I was teaching that, you guys did this, and for them to step up. And I tell kids even today when I'm in the classroom that you guys can make a voice and make a change. And so that's one thing that I try to tell them. MYS, again, we used to give them a lot more money than we do now, which is nothing. But they continued on, and they worked hard at it. there's dads out there doing the dugouts and cleaning up fields, and the Kevin Carriers of Molalla that make this a better town. And I've got to see that happen over the years. Ivor Davies Park, part of our grant, is one of the nights that's busy all the time back there. So, and in that same, you know, as a mayor and a teacher, I've been able to travel with students to Washington, D.C. I've been to Amsterdam, and I load up with stuff from Molalla. And I gotta say, I think I'm one of the biggest PR people for the city. I bring buttons and pins and badges. The police department and the fire department give me badges, and they're in Amsterdam, they're in New York City, they're in Washington, D.C., and now they're in Vietnam. You know, and but it's been good to go out and promote the city, and the response I've gotten back from everywhere I've traveled, it's great, and you know, letting them know. And I guess the last thing is the friendships I've made. So thank you all. Anybody want to go home?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Motion to adjourn my last meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Good, how are you? Yes, I will. Yeah, I showed up just in time. I have to work. What time that is? You got your actors? Yeah. What do you need now? Yeah, do you need me to wrap this up for you? No, I just, this time of year, it's like I book late. I have no time to pay her. Nobody's to move anybody. Yeah. Yeah. 2 hours down. I mean, I knew I was with Sherry on doing the bridge. It took 5 more minutes. So, you know, and I knew I was there. I was in my trance and stuff. So decorating. Sherry did. So, yeah, we've been totally unaware of things. So I would like to try and get things. Yeah. It is. Thanks for towels. Fryer, grease, things like that. All the conditions, the humidity, everything was perfect. That was, I know it's like, usually a twist. Yeah. Hay, but they all kind of have the same base.